Okay, welcome back everyone. Welcome to Trade Your Way. This is the Dow Jones. We're looking at the Dow Jones US30, Wall Street, whatever you want to call it, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, US stock market, stock indices. So we had a nice little pullback yesterday. I was on this, shorted it down to about 200. I was actually looking for 28,000. 28k. So this is a 4-hour chart. I was looking for 28k and it didn't quite get there. It found some structural support. Previous structure came down to about 28, 150 or so, 160. It stalled a bit, and then at the US Open at around 2:30 London time, 9:30 a.m. New York time, it rallied back up. So we took some decent profit on it, but I had a position running and that got stopped out at break even. So now we've had the move up and we've had some signals to short it off that 76.4. This is this previous range that we're looking at, and yeah, it's kind of stalled. So had the move down, retrace 50% of this last move here, and it's just curling back over. So we're looking for it to pump back down again. So we're currently short on this, looking for back down to retest the previous low at 28,200. Ideally though, break and make a new low at 28,000. So we're still hunting, on the hunt for that 28,000. Show you this on a daily very quickly. So this is the daily. This is what the daily looks like. We've got the that move, and then the rejection, but still a bearish candle, even though it's showing slightly green, which does give us potential to say, okay, it's got a wick down and then it's just going to be bullish and go and retest 29,000. So that's quite plausible, quite possible. But since this morning, it's kind of stalled. The high at 26,600, looking for it to drop back down. So nice little bearish body on the candle, nice long wick, just sitting at that 8 period exponential moving average. We've come down to test the daily 21 period exponential moving average, so 21 EMA. This is the 200, sorry, the 50 EMA, sitting at around 27,893. So looking for 28,000. That's not a tall order really. Had to move up, retrace, stalling at around that 76.4 area of the last swing, as you saw in the 4-hour, and then it's coming to curl back down. If we just take a look at this on the 1-hour in a little bit more detail, this gives us a bit more sort of high definition, if you like. So you can see that pullback that I'm talking about, the retracement, strong bullish retracement, kind of just run out of steam though, pitted out at around that 50%, and previous structure looking left. Good bit of resistance here. That if you want to short this, stops need to be considered above 28,550. Which is about 80-90 pips away from from when we were getting in shorting it. So small stops really when you're swing trading the Dow, because it's one of those pairs that you try and take a decent move on it. So if it generates 500-600 pips and you're risking 100 pips, then the risk to reward we're looking at is about 1 to 500, 1 to 5, 1 to 6 even. As it happens, it's tested 28,600, so stops are considered just above around 28,600. But as I say, you can see quite clearly on the 4-hour and on the 1-hour that everything's trying to curl over. And if it all gets rejected here, when testing this current support, if it all rejects and starts to rally from here, then we may well just close this for a very tiny 30-40 pip loss at best, at worst I should say, just above. So we're just watching, but ideally I'd like to see this break down in the next few hours and start going down and looking for that move back down. And so if it does that, then what I'll do is I'll use like the smaller time frames, maybe like a 15-minute for example, or 30-minute, and we'll plot some fibs on this current range and look at that last swing high and that last swing low that we've just identified, and this becomes relevant for day trading for right now. And you can see when we plot it that 28,430 is the 38.2, so that has yet to really be tested. So I'd expect it to come down to that 430 area at least as a as a decent downside target. So getting in here still gives us about 40 to 50 pips as a T1, which is a pretty decent T1 for for a day trade, an intraday trade. Then looking for the hunt, hunting for a bigger move, I'd look at the 50%, which is 28,377. So look at 28,380 to 400 as a decent area. If it bounces here and goes up, still that's going to give us a good 100 pips. And then below that you've got the 61.8 at 28,320, which starts to look at previous structure. And then we start to come into sort of a supply and demand, so demand area, where we'll look at the 76.4 as a key area, the last major fib retracement number before we get fully retraced to 100%, and that sits at around 28,250, 260, around there, or 59 to be precise. So it's got scope for a nice 200 plus pip move back down in the first instance. Just to be conservative, which is nice for the Dow. And then obviously if it was to break lower, we'd start looking at the fib extensions. So below 28,150, we would look for 28,030, which is really what I'm looking for. Ultimate downside level target. I'm looking for a sell-off today. So if we do sell off into the weekend, a bit of profit taking, that's what I'd like to see. So it's poised to make a move. It's consolidating right now, so it's just sitting there waiting. So just waiting to see what move it makes. If it goes up here, we'll probably just leave it alone. But if it starts to break down, we'll start hunting for this move to complete the end shape. I hope that helps.